Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this week's 2-Minute Warning feature interview, where we take a deeper dive at this massive push that we're seeing across the energy sector towards decarbonization. Here in the region, of course, globally as well, trying to uncover some insights that will help stakeholders navigate somewhat of a bumpy road ahead. It's 2 minutes to midnight, and I'm joined here today with our special guest speaker, Faisal Al-Raisi, who is the Chief Operating Officer and Acting Chief Executive Officer of Etihad ESCO. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
I just wanted to start off with an overall question. What is the role that Etihad ESCO is currently playing in terms of energy transition here in the UAE and the UAE's road to net zero for 2050?
Definitely. Well, Etihad ESCO is the super ESCO of Dubai, and I will say of UAE and the region, to be honest, since we have started in 2013. We are owned 100% by Dubai Water Electricity Authority, DEWA. And we have a target. I mean, and the vision of Etihad ESCO, definitely, first vision is to make Dubai one of the most sustainable cities in the world. And we have a mission behind that to make Dubai build environmental and leading, to make Dubai build an environmental leading example of energy efficiency in the world. Etihad ESCO, we have a target to achieve. That target is being given to us by the Dubai Supreme Council of Energy through demand side management. Demand side management is being translated, or the sustainability strategy of Dubai is being translated through demand side management, and demand side management translate that targets to 11 different entities or program. Each program has a program owner, and we are one of the program owner for building retrofit. And each program owner has various different set of targets that they have to achieve in their field. For example, anything related to recycling water, then it's Dubai municipality. Anything to street light retrofit, then is RTA, Road Transportation Authority. Anything related to solar, then it's DEWA, and we support DEWA there. Anything to building retrofit, then is Etihad ESCO. One of my target is to, by 2030, that I need to reduce and save 1.4 terawatt hours of electricity. I need to save 4.9 billion imperial gallon of water. I need to abate CO2 of 1 million ton of CO2 to be abated by 2030. And Etihad ESCO must target 30,000 building by 2030. So far, we are 8,000 plus. So here, because of the amount of projects that we have handled, projects from all the way to Dubai Airport, 5-star hotels, golf courses, residential buildings by 100, commercial towers by hundreds, residential units and villas by thousands, mosque, gas station by hundreds. So therefore here, this is the giving us the reputation of being the super ESCO of the region.
It seems like you have a tall task on your hands for 2030 there.
Oh, definitely.
Just touching on, of course, Dubai becoming, one of the most sustainable cities in the world. There was a recent statistic that came out saying that, as we discussed the built environment, but the built environment is a source of about 40% of global carbon emissions. You mentioned your 2030 targets there for the abatement of that. What is kind of the first steps that need to be taken in order to reduce those emissions, reach those targets that you're saying, in terms of energy efficiency and also building retrofits for the sector?
For the current development, the existing developments, whatever, it could be mixed use, it could be in hospitality, it could be in the education sector, it could be airport, could be gas station. For any existing facilities, then definitely, and the majority of the facilities, I would say, in the city of Dubai are 10 years or older. And therefore here, definitely there is a big room for retrofitting job to be conducted over all those facilities around Dubai, from private sector and the public sector I'm talking. But definitely also for any new development, then here we step in also and support the developer, master developer, with the new ideas, with the new concept, with the new technology that are available in the market to implement it in the design stage. And therefore, they do not require us maybe until 10 years after that project is being developed. So therefore, there is do not need us to come and step in and conduct any energy efficiency projects for them. However, for the majority, for the existing projects, yes, there is still plenty of opportunities that are available in the market, and we are tackling one by one to them.
In terms of the pace of retrofitting and the adoption of it, how would you describe, as you can see, you mentioned, buildings are, you said 10 years old. Obviously, in the UK, I was just in London, they're probably hundreds of years old.
Yes.
But how would you describe the receptiveness of retrofitting buildings, the adoption of pace in order to implement it?
They see the concept of retrofitting in Dubai, it's okay. I would say maybe it's 10 years old. That some of the private and the public sector they are adopting and they are accepting our concept and our strategy and our plan, how to support them to make their energy consumption more efficient through retrofitting projects. However, there's still lack of knowledge with many other, especially in the private sector, lack of knowledge for what is retrofitting. That's actually it's going to work. Even though when we step in, we provide a detailed feasibility study that's for deep retrofitting solution that's cover the entire building or the assets inside, outside. And we provide all sorts of solutions to maximize the saving and to make and to first of all, to enhance the assets by itself, and same time to make sure their energy consumption is very much efficient. Yeah. So therefore, the lack of knowledge which delays our process or to finalize any contracts, because every contract that we handle, it takes 8 months, 6 months to 8 months, or even a little bit longer. Wow. Yeah, and this is, we do not mind. We have been very patient. We have various different solutions with the clients. We educate the client's team. We educate their top management, because the client depends on their technical team. If the technical team does not understand what is energy audit, what is measurement verification, what is O&M for those facilities, we educate them one by one. Then we enter the commercial discussion, where we need to educate the client's finance team, how they are saving and how they will, even though ESCO provides a full solution for the client. We provide 100% finance for any size of project. On top of that, we still find some sort of resistance for the idea, but we've been very patient, and slowly we are succeeding in a very good way. As I said, we have finalized 8,035 buildings so far in Dubai.
I was just going to ask you on that finance side of things. And obviously, this is an equation of balancing people, planet, and profit, essentially. So from the education from the private sector side, do you think that the win-win is not being understood at the moment in the long term in this process from the finance side of things?
Yes, it's a new field. Not anyone can understand it. It's not a matter of I'm replacing a chiller or replacing turning the entire building to LED and all of that. They need to understand what's the benefit financially for the client. Here in Europe and US, when the ESCO they approach any clients, they discuss it. They discuss the topic of sustainability. In our region, especially in UAE, they understand the dollar sign or dirham sign.
And that topic is so broad, by the way.
Exactly. So here we convince the client that they are actually doing a major saving, and especially if Etihad is coming and financing the entire project. So there is zero burden on the client side from the CapEx and from the OpEx also, where we get involved totally. Even after the project is being executed for the full duration of the project, we are maintaining and operating the project for the client. So there is zero burden. So we educate again the client that there is no hidden cost, there is no burden there. We are providing all sort of incentive to make sure also that you go with the flow of the government and the entire world now that they are talking about net zero subject over all their facilities.
And you have to imagine as well, though, there's going to be ESG net zero targets baked into the way of doing business in the future.
That's right.
We're seeing it across the region, across the world. Just taking a step back, I just wanted to, of course, again, the UAE has set its target for net zero for 2050. What makes the UAE such a great environment in terms of drawing in investment and enabling, I would say, stakeholders and organizations to achieve energy transition, to achieve low carbon targets and ambitions? What is the elements?
Well, the sustainability has already been introduced ahead of all the other countries within GCC or the Middle East. We are the first people to discuss about net zero and sustainable strategy for 2030 and 2050. We have set various different targets. We have various different entities around, I would say, and the government of Dubai. Each one of them have a target. We are one of them. And we update the government on quarterly basis with all our achievement and how we are achieving our target. And if there is any obstacle, whatever, how to support each other entities. I support DM support me, I support RTA supports me, how to achieve our targets there. So there is an excellent collaboration between all of us. On top of that, of course, as I said, since 2013, I have 8,000 projects that not as any ESCOs in the region has that size of projects. And I already have submitted, I have project under my pipeline up to 2027. And up to 2027 that I have submitted our plan to the higher management, all the list of the new project that we have. So we are going in very much fast pace. So the expertise I have, the knowledge I have, of course, we have learned from various different areas also. And we have created an ESCO market in UAE, which is supporting us big time. In 2013, when the Ittihad ESCO was established, there were 2-3 commercial ESCOs that they were not accredited. But by now we have 32 maybe different international and local based companies that they are based in Dubai, and they are I call them as my partner in the market, because they are the commercial ESCOs that I depend on them to execute my projects. So we have all the big names, all from Siemens, from JCI, Johnson Control, Honeywell, Signify, all the multinational and local based companies. So the number of the ESCOs are growing because they can see the opportunities that it had ESCOs tackling and all the other entities are tackling related to sustainability, related to retrofit, related to energy efficiency that we are introducing to the market. So here, the number of the commercial companies is growing, the job opportunities is growing for there. On top of that, of course, it had, even though we focus a lot on the technical and the commercial and the business part, we also focus a lot on the educational part, which we are tied up with various different international institutes with a collaboration with local universities in Dubai on how to offer courses related to our field. So therefore, for every single project, it takes 2 or 3 candidates from the client team, from technical team, and they go through various different courses. They get good education on the job that we do. Therefore, after 3 years, 5 years, we step out of the project. The client, they have the knowledge how to continue that project on their own. So
how do you think a big question that comes up, and of course, when we're talking about this massive transformation, is the ability to, for customers, for clients, for energy sector stakeholders, the ability to attract that talent to the company and retain it. Obviously, Etihad ESCO is playing a massive role in industry-academia collaboration, preparing future talent partnerships, of course, across the industry. But what can companies do better to attract that younger generation of talent, which is still kind of in its current mode of exactly being defined? For example, what is a sustainable associate?
As I mentioned now, Brian, that the business opportunity for the ESCO market is growing.
Yeah.
Therefore, the number of the companies are growing. Therefore, the companies, they need to hire more and more. And therefore, also, now we have various different universities in UAE that they are putting within their program fields related to our business. You have Sharjah University, you have University of Dubai, already started 2 years back. You have British University in Dubai that they have, we are been working with them very closely also. So they're all coming with a new line of program that supports our field here. And we are getting, I have my daughter, herself, she showed interest to study renewable energy and solar business. So therefore, she is now in the second year at the University of Dubai. She's studying that. So even the younger generation, they are looking at that this business opportunity, the field of sustainability is growing. The government is talking about it. All the government around the world are talking about it. The United Nations is talking about it. So therefore, there is a lots of opportunities. So here at ETHAD, we are supporting this field to grow more and more. Yeah, believe it or not, myself, just myself, without my team, I receive on daily basis, on daily basis, CVs from around the world, from the local market and around the world, that they are interested to find a job, which we do support them, and I do not ignore any of those requirements, because I forwarded right away to my network that I have. Therefore, my network could utilize some of the expertise that are coming down to town.
Yeah, I think it's interesting just on the oil and gas side of things, let's say. They're trying to revamp their kind of offering towards the younger generation in terms of being able to attract that talent, where, of course, at Etihad ESCO and that the industry currently, it's a very big win-win for youth to get involved. And yes. I think it aligns with their goals and what they want to achieve in the future. So it is interesting seeing the industry grow, and of course the skill sets that are being developed. I just want to touch on partnerships. Again, of course, as you mentioned, partnerships, and you're overseeing and collaborating with many entities. What would be your best advice in terms of establishing partnerships? That's going to take partnerships, collaboration to achieve net zero targets, to achieve sustainability targets all the way through 2030 to 2050. What are the first steps that stakeholders should do in order to reach out and seek collaboration and partnerships in this energy space?
See, Brian, one hand cannot clap. For me, I always know that collaboration and partnering with in the market with a major stakeholders, I call them, or partners, it's a win-win solution. Then I learn from them, they learn from me, I support them, they support me. As I mentioned, I deal with all the national and international ESCOs that are based here very closely. I have very close relationship with them that I discuss with them on various different topics. Besides business, I learn what sort of new technology that they have, what is required for me as a Etihad ESCO to change. Is it my processes? Is it new ideas I need to achieve? Is it anything? So therefore, there's an excellent collaboration between us. Then also on the government level, from government to government, Etihad ESCO, I have an excellent knowledge of the ESCO business, on an ESCO business, whether it could be on the technical or M&V or O&M, on the legal part, on the commercial part, I am very much strong. So therefore, I am offering my services to various different international based companies also. For example, we have signed a collaboration agreement, an MOU also with SEA, Sustainable Energy Authority, and Kingdom of Bahrain. And we're trying to support Kingdom of Bahrain to set up their own national super ESCO in Bahrain there. So we have a very close relationship with them. Hopefully we might be able to do it with Qatar. With Tarshid and Saudi, we have an excellent communication with them. They learn from us, we learn from them. So that sort of collaboration is always a healthy practice, let's call it.
I think you usually see, let's say, best practices from countries outside of the region, but I think this is a good example of collaboration between countries in the region that can actually be adopted from other countries around the world, and more of that's necessary.
Yesterday I had a meeting with the chairman of one of the international ESCOs based in Dubai here, and they told me, Faisal, we were in Turkey, and the government of Turkey, they were talking very highly about Ittihad ESCO, and they said because of the base of Ittihad ESCO knowledge, they developed their own super ESCO, which we supported them in 2019 with how to set up their national super ESCO in Turkey.
Wow. It always starts with that base of knowledge, right?
Yes, of course.
It's crucial, but it is a good one. Again, it's something that can be exported in terms of that structure in order to achieve these targets and goals, which I think is lacking in a lot of areas at the moment. I just wanted to touch on, you mentioned technologies briefly. What we're seeing right now is the adoption of new technologies tend to be kind of in these pilot phases. Yep. What do you see the biggest challenge in terms of scaling up technologies though? With the major targets that you have at the moment towards 2030, I imagine scaling up of these technologies is an element to things.
Actually, the technology is getting upgraded almost every other day in our field. Yeah, it could be in the HVAC system or in the electrical system or in the water system, and so in the whole industry. We receiving all new ideas, new concept, new product from all the big players, as I said, Johnson Control, Siemens, Honeywell, whether it's as they are providing software, platform, technologies, smart meter, anything related to building envelope. So it's becoming more smarter, more advanced, and cheaper also. Or it could be in the solar business. Of course, the solar panel every other day it's getting more efficient, right. Bigger size, a cheaper price. So therefore, people are being able to afford it, and therefore my business for solar increased even during the pandemic. 2020, the people, they were suffering. My business of solar business was growing very nicely. 2021, we have done extremely well in Dubai for solar business because the technology was being upgraded, more efficient and more affordable.
Right.
Yes.
On that side of obviously society plays a role in meeting these targets. Are you seeing from the social aspects of things on the ground the understanding and the benefits of moving towards a lower carbon future? And are you seeing implementation from a social side of things?
Yes, definitely. In 2019, we have conducted one project. This is considered one project, which was an initiative by government of Dubai to install solar and do a retrofit for 5,000 individual homes in Dubai. Wow. And we have conducted from A to Z of that project in 10 months, exactly 10 months, which was an excellent achievement. And we can hear now from lots of other locals that they didn't got a chance to be part of that project. So they are all coming back and asking for such an initiative for their home, that they need to be more sustainable. I have from the hospitality sector, all the big brands that they are approaching us now for their hotels in Dubai. And Dubai is famous when it comes to tourism. The tourism department, they are supporting us in that field. I have from the educational part, where we have signed an MOU with various different entities that they have more than 50 private schools in Dubai that they want us to support them for their school to be more efficient, more sustainable, and they are catching up with the trends. So yes, this is going on with everyone now.
No, it's amazing. I think it actually, one of the biggest way to make progress, of course, is to start at the grassroots level as well,
Yes.
and move your way up too. That can kind of spark the quickest change. It seems that 25 minutes goes by pretty quickly. We'll have to wrap up, but I just wanted to finalize with one question.
Sure.
We have COP27 coming up in Egypt in November. We have COP28 in the UAE.
Yes.
From your perspective, what does that mean for this overall region to have those hosted here? And what would you expect to be on the agenda as a top of mind priority to achieve?
Well, the event itself that's coming down to UAE is making me more busy. This is number one, because I have various different clients, major
everyone wants your
clients.
Insights and expertise and guidance.
Well, and everyone wish to, especially the big players or developers in UAE, they are approaching us. They wish to announce what sort of initiative that they have taken for sustainability, and they want to announce it before the event COP28. So that's good business for me. It's making me very busy, and we are very much happy to support each one of them. And you have a lot of other new development that are coming up, even though they are very much new, that they are building to be now net zero. So that's, again, that's excellent for the business. That's excellent for the building material. That's excellent for the company that they sell sustainable products, which could be the electricity, lighting, chillers, you name it, or for the water system. So that's support the business big time there. But definitely what we are hoping within the COP28 that could support the carbon credit business, that it went down, and during COVID period in 2020 and 2021, the carbon credit business went a little bit down.
It's a big piece to this entire equation.
Exactly,
isn't it?
exactly. And this, if it could catch up, and eventually it will, and this can support the individual and the clients to take the decision to take their projects forward in much faster pace, because they know that they will benefit financially also from those projects.
Well, I'd like to thank you again for taking your time and sharing your insights today. For all those listening and watching, please feel free to follow Faisal Raisi on social media, and of course Etihad ESCO on the website. There's a lot of amazing initiatives that are occurring, and of course leading in this space. Also follow Gulf Intelligence on LinkedIn and Twitter, where we'll be posting this interview, and of course content harvested from it. But thank you very much again, Faisal.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks. You too.